Hey, what's up, y'all? Coach Jay here, man. I got a good one for you. Um, I was dealing with a client of mine who works for a pretty good company, makes pretty good income, and he was telling me, I keep finding myself just present. I go to work and I'm just there. It's no 95%, no 100%. They're probably at a 75, 72% ratio when it comes to my work and my performance. And we sat down and we began to talk, and he said they should be happy that I just showed up. They should be happy that I'm giving some type of efforts. They should be happy that at least I'm here and maybe I can contribute somewhat to the overall picture. Maybe. I I, I sat back and I listened to him talk, and as a director and one who has individuals working under him, I thought about what would happen if one of my employees came and said the same thing or was thinking the same thing that he's sharing. Wow, he's not performing at his best. He's telling me that I should be grateful that he's there, and whatever he contributes, I should accept that. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't like what I was thinking. And I realized that he wasn't talking to me to overanalyze him as what I do with my employee. He was telling me about a concern that he had. And me jumping into a position of authority and some that sit there and rule over certain departments, I realized I'm doing an injustice. So I had to pull myself back and put myself back into coach or the friend that he's talking to. So what I was hearing indirectly was he saying, I'm burned out. I feel underappreciated. I don't feel like this is where I need to be. And I was like, wow. And I let him continue to go on, and I start understanding as I put myself back into that listening ear. I was listening to everything that he was saying, but not saying. He's came to a place where this is real now. I don't find the motivation and the energy to put my best work in. Now, he did not say the reason why. We didn't go through, maybe it was the way the manager talked to him, way his colleagues work with him, the business as a whole, or maybe he wants to do something. We didn't go through that. I just dealt with the fact that he brought to me that I'm losing interest in what I'm doing. So we start to try to dive in without being finger pointing and say this and that. And I began to ask them this. I say, why do you get up in the morning and go to your job? And he listed, he said, I go there because to be honest with you, I get paid in 2 weeks or the end of the week. I can't recall what it was. And I get paid pretty good to go there. And I said, and you are a man of morals, man of goals and ideas. He said, yes, I'm really starting. And I said, and you're saying that they should be glad that you just showed up. Doesn't that challenge what you just said? And he said, it does. And that's why I have a problem with that, because I'm going to a job that I struggle with because of the fact that I'm doing things and I'm only showing up because of what I'm made of. So I asked him, I said, are you happy with the job? He said, yeah, I'm very happy with the job, but I just feel like I'm overwhelmed. I said, explain that. And he began to break down these things that we're going. And he kept on breaking down to other levels. And it came to the point that the man is burned out. This happens to a lot of us because we misguide ourselves and we don't know how to tap out. And what I mean by tap out, that having that moment where you gather yourself, you take a day off, you sit back and you really analyze what you're doing and why you do it. Once you come to that moment of reassuring yourself why you do what you're doing, what are the issues and concerns you have, then you have to come up with a line of action where you need to let somebody know what your problem is, what your concerns is, so that they can better understand why you may not be showing up at that 95% or that 80%, why you're showing up at that 7, or why you're not showing up at all. I have people that come to work and they're just there. And it does happen. And that's why it's a responsibility of whoever you're working with and also you to let people know that there's a greater challenge going on within. And sometimes it's not the job, it's some things at home. A lot of time we take home to work because we don't have anywhere to vent. And I want you to understand that that's okay, but we need to work on that. We need to be able to understand and see these signs where individuals are closing up. And this individual here came to me and I was the one to help him. And I was doing just like anybody else, when I was in the position there, as the first thing I'm trying to figure out is why is this employee coming to me with this, instead of saying, let me listen and hear what he's saying or she's saying, because they entrust in me, or they put me in awareness or alert that there is a problem, there's a concern that is going to the reason why their performance is coming down. And I have to have a listening ear. So I realized in this whole case of talking with this individual that he was not really looking for solutions. He was just looking for a reason to vent. But while he was venting, I found solutions. I found ideas that I could bring to them. And we began to cut those down. We began to pinpoint some of the struggles that he was dealing with, some of the things that he was aware or was not aware of. How many times, some people can have something fixed in their mind that is actually what they think it is, but when it comes to the truth, it's not. He was sitting there believing that he was unappreciative in his workforce, when really he was just overtasked with things, because they kept giving him more work because they knew he could do it. Instead of him pushing back, he was a yes man. Yes, 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 because he felt the more that he would get on, the more they would see him and actually maybe move him up the ladders of leadership. And it would have happened. But if you already have a lot when you start off and they pile more, and if you're not saying no to it, then shame on you, because now you're getting bowed down with this. And unless it was an increase in pay and you felt that you could handle it, then it fall back on you. So we began to dice this up in little small pieces, and we start understanding not only was he burned out, but psychologically he was not in tune with himself. He had more things going around than just that job that was now brought to this place where he works at. And believe it or not, the job was where he would go to release this stuff, but he couldn't release it because he had so much stuff on his table, where before he used to communicate with others. Now he's going in, and as soon as he walks in, he got piles and piles and piles of work to do. So the time that he was interacting with others was now cut off. So now he could do anything but deal with what he's dealing with outside of the job and all this pile of work in front of him. There was no balance. He got out of alignment. So after several times talking to him, and we began to break this down, we dealt with both the outside and at the job scenarios and situations that he was facing, to come to a conclusion that, okay, we have to work on one. So we fixed the outside first. The job was something that we were slowly talking back and forth with his manager and telling him about the level of work that he have and the responsibility. But we were moving there because he was a kind of a quiet person. He didn't like to, ruffle anybody's feathers. But they seen his work and they kept piling. So once he started seeing the encouragement of that, they depended on him to do these extra things because he was good at it. Then I taught him over time how he had to push back and says, yes, I can do these things, but this is more than whatever. This is a 3-man job you got me doing for one, and now I find myself struggling trying to keep your deadlines. And because I feel I'm missing it, I'm now shutting down. Well, truth of the matter was, it was something more bigger outside of his job that we finally got through and worked through. And where he was burned out at the job, he was also burned out at home. So when we began to balance this out and he gathered what was going on and put some steps into place, he began to see changes. Now, we're still having sessions because it's not something that we'll finish in 5 minutes, but we've been going on a positive trend. And I can tell you, at least he has his job in order right now. The job understands, and they have not only promoted him, but now he has other people working on him, and he's divided his normal job that he was doing with all that into 3 other people, and he's managing them. So he's got in the long run what he was seeking to do, reduction of all the workload, but now he's in the overseer. So he's just seeing what they're doing versus sitting up there and actually doing it. And it was good that he learned from all the work and tasks that they gave him how to make himself better equipped on the knowledge that is needed to maintain these files or this workload. So when he hired the other people to do this, now he can look at this. He knows what he expects. He knows what the upper management is expecting, and he holding him accountable as he holds himself accountable. And he's finding a relief. He's finding the joy back in. He's finding the reason to give. He's not at this, I'm not gonna lie, he's not at 90%, but he's at a strong 79. So we're trying to get him to 80, 85 threshold, and I think he'll be good from there on. But the biggest achievement is that he's balancing and aligning the things that's bringing that or contributing to that burnout, not only at work but at home, is coming in alignment. If you're a person that is sitting back and you're struggling trying to understand what your next step is. You feel like you're overwhelmed. You feel like you're smothering. You feel like you're drowning in situations. You need to talk to someone. And right now I'm offering a free consultation to have this sit down talk with you and see how we can improve some areas, or at least point out these things or some of these contributing factors that's having you to a point where you feel like you're just smothering in your situation or you don't see a way out. And I would like to sit down and talk with you. I'm giving a free hour consultation to sit there and we can divide this up and have a sit down like I'm sitting on this bench. You and I could talk and see if we can pinpoint some of the things that would help you to realign and look at things from a different lens. And maybe that might be enough where you can sit back and catch a breath or two. You can reach me at James at One Movement LLC. Again, James, onemovementllc.com, or subscribe here. Give me a bell. Put a note in the comments. I would love to talk to you. And let's see what we can do to help you out. If nothing else, share this video with somebody that you feel is at a stage where they're feeling they're burnt out, when they're feeling like giving up, when they feel like all hope is gone. Before they throw in the towel, tell them reach out to me. What is a free hour consultation? It might be the biggest change in their life. And share this video with somebody else that may find fun or find favor in this, that would help them to move on. And then share with another, and then with another. Help me grow this movement and see what we can do together. I need you. Let me help you as you help me to become better in my craft and share more insights to make us all better. With that being said, I'm Coach Jay. I'm out of here. Hey, wait a minute. Before you go, look for this next video I got coming up. You're going to like it.